Hello again, Georgia trainers. Welcome back. Today I will be showing you how to create the training session in the Georgia Professional Development System. After I've logged into Georgia PDS, click the Georgia Approved Trainer Navigation tab. I'm now on the My Trainings information page. Look at the top navigation bar. Here I see my profile, trainings, conferences, Georgia Approved Trainer, trainers, and reports. I'm going to click on My Trainings. The system will pull up all trainings I've submitted. Pertinent information is provided for each training, including the training name, the assigned training code, the training format, its expiration date, and its status. The two icons you see here allow me to manage sessions and to add a secondary trainer to my trainings. I want to schedule a session, so I click on the Manage Session Calendar icon. Clicking on the Manage Session icon brings up basic information on the training, including the title, the level, and the list of workforce knowledge and competency standards approved for this training. To begin scheduling my session, I click the Add New Session button. Now I will begin to enter information about my session. The training status automatically sets to new, which simply means that this is a new entry. No one will be able to register for this session until I have changed the status to open. This allows you to set up the session and make sure everything is correct before you open it to potential registrants. I'll change the status later in the process when I'm sure my session is set up correctly and I'm ready for people to register. The first thing I'm going to do is select the session location. Georgia PDS allows trainers to manage their own list of locations. Since this is the very first training session I've scheduled in Georgia PDS, I don't have any saved locations. The first thing I must do is add the location where I'll be training. So I click Add Location. A pop-up window appears, and this is where I enter the name of the location, the county it's located in, the number, and the address. Note that most of these fields are required. There's an optional notes field as well, where you can add anything you'd like participants to know about the training location. For example, you might want to add something about parking or which entrance participants should use to get into the space. This is the information that the registrants for my session will see on the website and use to get to the session, so it's important for me to double check my spelling and that I've entered the address correctly. After I'm sure that I've entered everything correctly, I click Save. Now, the next time I schedule a session at this location, it will appear in my list. After I've added the location, I click on Add Training Date. Here, I enter the session date, the start and end times, and the clock hours. The location I just entered will appear in the drop-down list, and I will select it. If there's a room name or number that I'll be using for the session, I'll enter that here. After I fill these out, I click Save. Now I'm back to the session information screen. This is where I enter registration start and end dates. Registration will begin at 12:01 a.m. on the start date and will end at midnight on the end date. Next, I'll enter the name and the number of a contact person who participants can call with questions about the session. The question, can the general public attend, should be answered. The system defaults to no, which means that anyone who registers for the session must have a PDS number. If you want your session to be open to anyone who visits the GA PDS website, including people who do not have a PDS account, click Yes. This means that the public can register for the session just by entering their name. Next, I'll enter the maximum capacity for this session. The system will also allow you to reserve seats for the training sessions, which will be the subject of a later tutorial. So, for today, I'll leave that at 0. The system automatically defaults to allow a wait list of 10% of the maximum capacity. So if I set my maximum capacity at 20, The system will allow 2 people to join the wait list once my 20 seats are full. I can increase or lower the wait list number as I'd like. When registration has reached maximum capacity, people who would like to register will be asked if they would like to join the wait list. When a seat is open due to a canceled registration, everyone on the wait list will receive an email letting them know that the seat is available. The first person who registers for the seat will get it, and the others will remain on the wait until another seat becomes available. When someone from the wait list has successfully registered for a session, the system will send a registration confirmation email to them. Next, I can enter a cancellation statement. This informs participants of my cancellation policy if they find they cannot attend this session. Before I can move on to the final step, I need to save the session. Once I've saved the session, the system will allow me to upload any documents that participants may need. Examples of documents could include a parking pass or a pre-reading assignment for participants to complete prior to the session. Once I've uploaded the documents, I save the session again. My final step is to review everything I've entered and make sure that's accurate. Once I've done that, I change the status of the training to open, which means that the participants can now register for my session. Now, when I pull up this training, I see the session is listed. Thank you for tuning in and learning how to create a session in Georgia PDS.